Hey guys, what's going on? Saad here with another video, and today we're going to take a look at the BMW Performance Wheel, and this is going to be the Alcantara version, or Alcantara, tomato. So right now I'm in my BMW 335 E90, and I did a lot of modifications to it on the outside, but when I got in the car it kind of felt the same. And so once I was kind of done modifying the exterior of the car, I thought it was time to add some parts on the inside of it. And one of the first mods that I looked into was, changing the steering wheel. So this particular 335 was a non-sport version of the car. So, I had, the stock steering wheel that comes with it. My options at the time were either to go with this wheel, the M3 leather wheel, or the BMW Performance electronic steering wheel. And even though that wheel is pretty awesome, it lights up, it has some cool features if you go on the track. At a price point of around $1,500 to $1,700, that was kind of out of the question for me because I really didn't feel the need to spend that kind of money on a steering wheel, even though it is a cool wheel. So it really boiled down to the M3 leather wheel and the Alcantara version of it. And the Alcantara version for me personally seemed really appealing just because, when you look at sports cars, oftentimes they come with Alcantara trims and steering wheels, and it looks really cool. But my concern was that it would get really dirty and it'd be really hard to maintain versus, just a leather steering wheel, which is much easier to clean. There wasn't much information out there. There were a few owners I talked to that had recently bought theirs, so it was kind of hard to tell, how this wheel would hold up over time. And even though I don't daily drive this, I was still worried that, after a few months of use, it would look like trash. So after about a year of owning this, I can give you my thoughts on it and what I like about it and kind of maybe some drawbacks to it. So the wheel it's all wrapped in Alcantara, as you can see. It also comes with the M tricolor stitching on the inside of it. But you also have your M badge at the bottom of the wheel, which I personally don't really care for because, this is not an M car, nor am I trying to pass it off as an M car. It has a flat bottom, which makes for a much better turning experience, in my opinion. So if you do track it, I personally don't really track this car, but if you are going to track it, that will be a good advantage to have that. Apart from that, it also has this blue stripe at the 12 o'clock mark. Just, it's again for track enthusiasts out there, that way you know where the center of the wheel is. And it kind of looks nice too. I think visually looks kind of cool, I think. So for me personally, this was a big upgrade because my 335 is a non-M Sport version. So it came with the stock steering wheel, and the first thing I noticed was how much thicker this wheel is. And even visually, it just looks much more appealing than the stock wheel that came with it. It will get dirty really easily. Compared to a leather wheel, this is going to be much harder to clean. So that is something to keep in mind, which whenever I'm out, if I go out to eat, I kind of always have that in the back of my head to make sure that my hands are nice and clean when I get back in the car. One of my fears was that it would look terrible after a couple months of use, which is why I was debating getting the leather one because, as you all know, cleaning a leather steering wheel is a lot easier than cleaning Alcantara. But I can safely say that after using the steering wheel for well over a year, it seems to hold up really well. It doesn't look worn out. It still looks just as good as it did when I first got it. And that takes me to my next point, that if you are going to take the car for servicing or any maintenance work, make sure you wrap it up with some type of plastic covering. Because one time when I did take it to drop it off for maintenance, I noticed that it kind of came back a little dirty and it was kind of a pain cleaning it. Cleaned off pretty well, you can't really tell now, but that is something to keep in mind if you're going to buy this steering wheel. But overall, I've been really happy with it. I think it looks really nice. It gives a nice look to the car, and as a driver, you notice that change because even if you mod your car out from the outside, you don't really truly get to enjoy it while you're driving it. So changing your steering wheel, I think overall for me has been a nice experience. It really makes you feel that the car just seems different. And now a moment of silence as we pass the tunnel. That's always fun. Back to the wheel. I purchased it off of Amazon. I know some retailers sell it. I would also recommend looking out at the BMW forums. A lot of times people are selling their old ones. So this particular wheel, it comes in another option where you have a yellow stripe instead of the blue one right here, and it also comes with white stitching instead of the tricolor M stitching. But I personally thought this wheel looked a little bit nicer than that one. which is why I ended up getting it. Overall, I've loved it. You know, it feels great, it looks really nice. The price point is much better than the electronic steering wheel. But then again, you don't get those like track features. It doesn't light up to tell you when to shift. But you know, if you're not really gonna be tracking it a lot, then I don't think you really need all those features. If you are getting this, it also comes in 2 different versions where there are cutouts in the back for your shifter paddles. If you have a automatic. If you have a manual transmission, then it won't come with the cutouts in the back. One thing to keep in mind is that if you are coming from a non-sport 335, then you're also going to have to get the updated sports airbag. So the steering wheel will come by itself, and you won't get the shifter paddles. It's just the wheel. So that is going to be additional cost if you don't already have the sports airbag. But if you have an M3 or you have the sports trim of the 335, then you should be fine, and your current airbag should be compatible with the wheel. One thing that I do kind of miss is that you lose the heated steering option, which if you do live in a colder climate, it is nice to have that. But that being said, it's, you know, because it's wrapped in Alcantara, it doesn't get really hot in the summers, or it doesn't get freezing cold in the winters, which is kind of nice. But overall, I think it's a great steering wheel. I don't think you're gonna regret getting it. It adds a nice look to the car. It feels great, and you know, as a driver, you'll really appreciate it, I think. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope that helped in case you were thinking of picking up the steering wheel. If you have any more questions, please leave them below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Take it easy.